Right now, the Army private accused in leaking classified military information is at Quantico, which always sounds cool, awaiting Army investigators' next move. Private Bradley Manning is being held now in connection with the video leak showing a helicopter attack on a number of people on the ground, including people working for the Reuters news agency. The investigation into Private Manning's alleged leaking of tens of thousands of top-secret documents has led one member of Congress to say he'd support capital punishment of Private Manning if he's found guilty of espionage against his country. Joining me is Republican Congressman Mike Rogers of Michigan. Congressman Rogers is a member of the Select Intelligence Committee and is a former FBI special agent. Congressman Rogers, welcome. Obviously, a little bit of a...
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Obviously, a little bit of a controversial opinion here. First, are you referring to WikiLeaks or the helicopter video in regards to Private Manning?
The WikiLeaks.
But he's not charged with that.
The WikiLeaks primarily.
But he's not charged with that.
Well, my argument is that through the course of the investigation, and as I have said publicly, that he should be charged with treason. Any amount of the documents. Now, you've taken a portion of the documents that he leaked that some may agree should be leaked or not, but there was a overwhelming number that he released, including that particular video. And
Congressman,
when you think about any of the operations of a soldier in the field that's released could lead to their death, that is an act of treason. And an act of treason is a capital offense, and it should be. That's my point.
I understand, but I just want to make it clear because we have no idea if he's at all related to WikiLeaks. We know we think we know he was alleged to have leaked the helicopter video in Iraq, not Afghanistan. Are you saying that you know he's doing the WikiLeaks leak?
Well, and other documents. Well, okay. And other documents. It wasn't just the video, and other documents. And here's the point. And again, I argue that anyone that releases information of a classified nature to the enemy, to a third party that our enemy uses, is an act of treason.
So you would say the same for the helicopter video? You would say the same for the helicopter video, which he is actually charged with? If that was a classified piece of information that he released to our enemy, absolutely. And I'll tell you why. You have to stop this culture of disclosure. It's dangerous. It gets people killed. Now, you may like you may have liked the thought that video got released, but when you encourage people to release information that may lead to the deaths of U.S. soldiers risking their lives for their country, I'm sorry, that's treason. So there's no gray area about it, and that is a capital offense. You can't have. So you're saying execution. You're saying execution.
If he is convicted of treason, I absolutely would support a capital punishment.
So would you have supported the execution of Daniel Ellsberg for leaking the Pentagon Papers?
Well, I don't know all the circumstances around it. If it was information that certainly put soldiers at risk in the field and he was convicted of treason, absolutely. And, you know, here's the thing. When something is leaked that you find useful in the media or somebody finds useful in the media, that seems to be some moral equivalent of being okay. The problem is it creates this culture of disclosure in the military that says, you know, if I'm a private, and, you know, I used to be a captain in the Army and I thought every general I ever met didn't know what they were doing, right? Because I was a captain in the Army and I knew better. Well, that's the same thing that happens with every private in the Army. They think, I can't understand why every sergeant, captain, or major, they don't have a clue what they're doing. And if you encourage this culture of disclosure that says, well, if I don't think they know what they're doing, I'm going to release this, that may actually get people killed because they don't understand the full picture of what's happening and the full combat phase, that's dangerous. And I would argue that we ought to pursue this with vigor about sending a very clear message. If you have classified information, if you've taken an oath to your country to keep that classified information, then any act of releasing it to a third party, including our enemy, is treason.
Congressman, there's, as far as I know, he's being court-martialed in the military. There is no treason. There's leaking information to an enemy, which you can equate to treason. But either way, you are definitely clear in your position. Everybody understands where you're coming from. So thank you for joining us, Congressman Mike Rogers.
And think of this, Cenk. Ask every mother that sent an 18-year-old into combat if they think that him releasing information that may have gotten him killed is a capital offense. I think you'll find that they agree pretty resoundingly that it is.
We'll look into that. Thank you, Congressman.